John Wick Chapter 2 teaser trailer. Now, I like John Wick. I thought it was a great random action movie. I think everybody did. That's why it has a sequel. It's one of those movies that I still think is somewhat under the radar. I don't personally know a lot of people that have seen it, but of course, if you go online, you will obviously find that certain segment of people that you're looking for that are like, this movie was freaking great because it was. It was a great action movie. Simple story. Person died. If you're watching this, you've probably seen the first one, so I can actually talk about it. But a man's wife dies. She ends up sending him a puppy. It's actually a super sad open. I remember watching it. I was like, I didn't expect this to be as sad as it was. I thought it was only. I didn't even know the dog was dead. I thought they kidnapped the dog from what I had seen from the trailers. I was like, oh, this is super sad. She died, and then he's like, I can't live alone. And then he gets the dog the day that he has the funeral and stuff. I was like, this is depressing. And then it goes nuts because, when you're depressed and then someone kills like the one thing you got, you kill everyone else. You like scorched earth sort of deal. So crazy film, really great action, simple premise. Like, I just want to kill this one person. It sucks that it's your son, but I will kill you and everyone else if they get in my way of killing your son. And it was a great freaking movie. Crazy and over the top. And now we have the sequel. It seems even more crazy and over the top. It's in a different country. That's always like a action movie sort of thing. It's like it's the sequel, not in America. So he's in Rome now. He's fighting some random woman who seems to be a part of either the leader or might just be important, like kind of like the kid from the first movie. Might just be that sort of thing. But she seems like she's actually a big part of it, where she's in control of whatever weird situation is going on. Because really all we see are just a bunch of people getting shot and killed like the first movie, and I'm like, I'm fine with that. The first movie was meant to just be, there is a story, but the story is meant to be the line that leads you to this action piece and that action piece, and that's what the trailer seems to do. And if we get a movie, obviously it won't be the exact same story, but we get a movie that is meant to be about the action, I think it'll work, as long as the story isn't like so incredibly insane, which it kind of has to be, I guess, considering the universe that they built for the first movie. But I actually liked it. It was a simple enough trailer. A bunch of people get shot. We get Morpheus and Neo together, which is actually a really awesome little thing. It's like, that's just kind of cool. But it was sweet. We get to see characters come back. So part of it is in America, of course, because he is at the hotel, and we see like the hotel manager guy at the front. Well, he's not at the front. He's at like standing at the gate or something like that. But we get to see that he's in different parts. Who knows, because it's a trailer, who knows what takes place before what. So maybe he jumps back and forth. That probably doesn't happen because he would have like 2 days worth of time just on the plane. So he probably starts in America. There's a scene where he freaks out and he's in the same outfit as when he's walking with the dog. I don't know if they do that again where someone else killed the dog. I don't know if this is going to be like a Taken sort of thing where it's like, oh, you killed these people. And I guess this is a slight spoiler for you guys if you haven't seen Taken 2. But it's like, oh, you killed them, and now their family is coming to get revenge on you, and their revenge is to do the exact same thing that the last people did, and it's to kill your dog, which maybe if they did that, it would actually work, because it would be a very, for me personally, I instantly think of Taken like I already do now. So maybe if that's how they go, it'll actually be a point to be like, hey, we know what this is, and we're kind of making fun of the idea that we're doing it because we know other people have done it in a totally serious fashion, and it hasn't exactly played out. Because as awesome as Taken is, people didn't like Taken 2 that much, and nobody appeared to like Taken 3. I never saw it, but I didn't mind the second one. I thought it was cool. But I like this. I thought it was a nice trailer. A bunch of people dying. He's somewhere underground. He's not just using a handgun, which I think he used a machine gun at like a very small portion of the first movie. There was like, I think only like one segment he actually even uses something outside of a handgun, and it was during the scene around the truck or something like that. And I think everything else was either his fist killing people or a single, like a handgun based weapon killing somebody. So it was actually kind of interesting when I saw him in the tunnel scene and he's like running and he's actually using it like an assault rifle. I was like, that's weird to me because I'm used to him just being like a robot shooting everybody in the head and stuff. But I was like, that's awesome. I'm excited to see how they play around with that idea. He's being like followed and chased by people underground, and they've all got assault rifles and stuff. And obviously eventually he ends up getting one. But I was like, I like that idea. He's running around. Common was in this. I swear every time he's in an action movie, it's all about assassins. He was in Wanted, and I was like, as soon as I saw him in this, I'm like, if he's in a movie and it's action, it has to be about assassins. Like, he can be in a bunch of movies, but if it's action, it's got to be secret assassin society stuff going on. I thought that was so funny. But they end up fighting each other multiple times, because there's the scene where they're in the crowd and they like shoot each other, and then there's another scene where they're like on a train or on like a sub. It looked like a subway train, like in New York to me, where they're fighting each other. So maybe that happens earlier in the movie. Maybe he, Keanu's character, John actually follows Common's character to Rome because he's connected to these other people or whatever. But I thought that was cool. I was like, alright, so we got this going on. We got Lawrence Fishburne's character, who seems to still have a bit of power, and he makes a joke like, you're not too good at retiring, so he's obviously a part of that world. And it seemed like he had him brought in, because during that scene he's being followed by a couple of like bodyguards. So I don't think he's a villain. I think he's there to be like, this is the information you're looking for. This is how, this is where they are, and that's how he ends up getting to Rome, maybe, because it looked like they were still in America to me. It was like a 2-second scene, but they looked kind of to me like they were still in New York during that little section. So I'm excited to see this movie. It comes out in February. I missed the first one in theaters. I did actually see it. I saw it on TV, and I was like, this is actually awesome. I really love that movie. It's a great action film, and it's a great movie as far as like, there's a bit of hand-to-hand combat. There are like a couple of scenes where people actually fight, but for the most part, it's like some John Woo stuff where it's like all the martial arts is solely based on guns, and I love that type of stuff. So I'm excited to see how they up the ante for this movie, how crazy it's going to get. He's got the dog, he's got the car again. We got him in the hotel and stuff. He's in New York, and then he goes to Rome, or vice versa, whatever. So I'm excited to see what they do. He gets the suit thing in the beginning, and then they show just that whole back section is just a bunch of racks and guns, which also kind of makes me think of the Matrix a little bit. But it seemed like it's going to be good. It was the first movie was simple enough. This seems like it's going to be, I don't want to say simple, because it was done simply, but it's so hard to explain it. It was just done right. It wasn't like an extravagant sort of thing. It was like, this is what it is, and they did it as best they could, and they did it freaking great. So I'm excited to see how they up the ante for this one. Excited to see what this character is going to do, because there is a scene where the girl is actually fighting against John. So I don't know if she can actually fight, or how that's going to play out for her character. But I'm excited for it. Definitely want to know what you guys thought about this first trailer for John Wick Chapter 2. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And I definitely want to know, with the first movie being what it was, what do you want this second movie to be? Because honestly, I want to say I want it to just be the first movie, but then it's like, that's why I keep thinking of taking it, because it's like, that kind of was just the first movie. I thought it was personally different enough, because it was obviously a very similar concept, and like I mentioned, I was fine with the sequel to the movie. I was like, alright, this simple enough of a concept, and I think this, John Wick is even when it was made, it was meant to be something simple. I think Taken was meant to be very serious, but also really great action. I think John Wick was just meant to be like, hey, this is an action movie. Here's a story, but you don't care. Here's some action, and that's what's great. So it's hard to say. Like, I kind of want it to be the exact same thing. Simple story. He's going here because he needs to kill somebody, and that's probably exactly what the movie is. Or it seriously is just going to be Taken 2, and it's the exact same thing. It's like, oh, here's the family members of the first people, and they did the exact same thing. And instead of taking someone, they killed his dog and maybe blew up his car instead of stealing it in this movie. So I don't know how it'll really be, but I kind of want it to be the same thing. Just crazier action, more guns, I guess. I don't really know. It's just an action movie that's great, and I'm excited to see it. But like I said, I want to know what you guys thought about the trailer and what you guys want to see. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.